Oh. Is it on?
It's on.
Is it on?
Mm-hmm.
Is it on? Okay.
Yes. Want me to check again?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll check again. Hi, welcome to our channel. I'm Martina.
I'm Tom.
And today, just as we had mentioned in our last video, we're going to be talking about music. And we're going to try and do a series where we pick a favorite artist and then we kind of run through what some of our favorite albums and some of our favorite songs are. And so for today, who are we talking about, Tom?
The one and only Mr. Bryan Ferry, formerly of Roxy Music, and a big successful solo career after that.
I'll just say my favorite album and some of my favorite songs are off of the Olympia album, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later in the video. Tom, what is your favorite?
Well, I have many favorites, but I'm going to start from the top. Well, not the top, but along the list of what caught my ear through the years. And the song's called Loop de Lie. I absolutely have no idea what this song's about. But it's traditional, thickly produced, smooth as silk Bryan Ferry for you. I'm sure there is a story behind it, but I gotta pay attention to the lyrics. But I'm more into the hook sometimes. And the next song we like to highlight is called his old song. One of his old songs called "Love Is a Drug."
That's a great song.
Yeah, but this time he did a twist on it. He actually had the Bryan Ferry Orchestra. He assembled that. And Bryan Ferry does not perform vocally on the album at all. He isn't involved with the production and the arrangements and all that. But it's his versions of 30s jazz versions of all his solo stuff. Excuse me. And a couple of Roxy Music songs on it.
I guess this is a good time to mention we're drinking Sunday juice, so cheers.
Yes, cheers everyone. So it's coming up the wrong way. And but it was from a Baz Luhrmann film. It was recorded in mono, so it sounds like old, scratchy, old 30s jazz. All upbeat, everything. So it's really cool. It's not an album for everybody.
Probably not for me.
Nope. No, I can let you listen to some. I don't know if you like it or not.
Yeah.
It's just straight jazz, like with an orchestra. But I appreciate that somebody can diversify themselves like that. And I'm sure it's something he always wanted to do through the years. A song called Cover Song. He's known for covers, a lot of his albums. He's more covers than solo, I would say. It's still debatable. But he actually did a whole album with nothing but, believe it or not, Bob Dylan covers. Which is, I guess, one of his major influences, I'm sure.
I can tell you that I'm not a huge fan of Bob Dylan.
Neither am I.
No.
But you're also a fan of his son's work.
I love the Wallflowers, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, I like Wallflowers too.
Yes.
But he did a whole album of Bob Dylan covers, as we say, and he did a really hard, crazy version of All Along the Watchtower, which I thought was originally done by Jimi Hendrix, but believe it or not, that was a Bob Dylan song.
Wow. I can tell you that I know that there's a biography out there of Bob Dylan, which I would be highly interested in his life and learning about that. I know I've heard interviews with him. He's a very intriguing person. But music-wise, I guess I'm not deep enough to really get it.
I saw Bob Dylan one time with Willie Nelson, and the reason I went because it was only like a $50 ticket, so I was like,
awesome.
well, why knock out two icons?
That's awesome.
It was really cool of them not to like gouge the crowd. I mean, everybody was $50.
Wow.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
Not the most exciting show, but it was cool.
Oh, but Willie Nelson.
Yeah, I mean, he did most of the show sitting down. Just like as we are, yeah. And then the next song I liked a lot from Bryan Ferry that he did, it was again from his latest album called Avon More, is he did a cover of Robert Palmer's Johnny and Mary, which is one of my favorite Robert Palmer songs. They did it from the 70s before he got big with, what was that one? Simply Irresistible.
Yeah, he had a couple of strings of hits there in the mid-'80s.
Yeah, before he went,
Yeah.
But I still like, I love Robert Palmer's Power Station and all that stuff he did. It's really good stuff. But he does a really good cover of that. I think it's an ode to Robert Palmer. I'm sure they were associates of each other. And then the next one is when, I like a lot, is when Bryan Ferry got back to his original music mode. He did a song called Don't Want to Know, which was the start-off track from his 1994 album, Mamona. Back to thickly produced, thick songs. A lot like Olympia. He really hasn't broke that mold because I think that's what's keeping everybody right now.
Yes. It's definitely probably the glue, yeah.
Yep. So that song's awesome. Now we're going to talk about
Olympia.
Olympia.
Yeah, so probably got more turned on to Bryan Ferry with the Olympia album. Of course in the 80s growing up I heard Roxy music, all of that, but I grew to appreciate Bryan Ferry with the Olympia album. And the first song on that album, You Can Dance, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. It's this very Vogue kind of club dance music. I can completely see myself somewhere in a back alley of Paris in some club dancing to that, and the video very much goes along with the Bryan Ferry vibe, beautiful women, long legs, short skirts. That's just his signature, right? I mean, he is
always Mr. Smooth.
Mr. Smooth. So I thought the video to that was beautiful too. But in general, that song I think sets the tone for the entire album, which is very sophisticated, kind of Vogue. Shameless is a great song from that. Me Oh My, I know that isn't the best name for a song, but the tune is amazing. It's very catchy. I love that song. So I think in order for me, exactly how they laid the tracks down on the album, it's probably the order of my favorites. And there's not a bad song on that entire album in my mind. I love every one of them.
And you also like Alphaville too.
Alphaville is amazing. That's a great song.
Yeah, and the reason is you were telling me that it was modern and dark.
Yes.
And that rings true because Alphaville is a French film about a dystopian future.
Really?
They wrote about.
I did not know this.
Yep.
Huh.
And I have that film, and
Do
we
you?
should be watching that.
We should, and then that might be a great idea for one of our movie reviews as well.
Except with subtitle.
Subtitles, which is not my favorite thing.
And black and white.
And black and white on top of that. Now, black and white I can actually get with because I'm a pretty big old movies fan. So
it sets the mood for the film.
Wow. Okay. Well, then we're definitely gonna watch that. And I think that's it for me for Bryan Ferry.
And I will continue on with a few more tracks that catch my ear over the years and got me on the dance floor.
I love dancing with Tom, by the way.
Well, in London Victory Club days and Club Detroit, when we used to play this stuff, there was a Kiss and Tell from the Bête Noire CD, and that was from 1987. Not quirky pop, but just a little bit more heavy beats for them, a little quicker. One of my all-time favorites from 1985, there's Don't Stop the Dance.
Great song.
From the Boys and Girls album from 1985.
Didn't that...
Really good, with the sax and just the lyrics, how they come out. Actually, his voice... This is when Bryan Ferry, I think, started using his voice as an instrument itself. Mm-hmm. It's not just singing. He actually projects a rhythm, that flows with the music. It's not like he's on top of it.
It's actually a signature sound in my mind, right? That's what kind of sets him apart from some of the other artists, is that kind of, I don't want to say baritone because he's not that, but there is an element of like a little bit of a bass that goes along and he'll like fluctuate his sound. Right?
They'll smooth it in right with the music, and you can't tell where the music and the voice end.
Right. It's
my
talent
opinion anyway.
and signature.
Yep. He just works with talented people that get that sound just right, and I'm sure they listen to him. But he's been doing this sound for a while, so I prefer it a little bit better than some of his earlier days. It's just a little cranky rock, a little bit, but maybe that's what a lot of other people like too. I just like a little bit more thickly produced music.
Me too. I'm a big fan.
I'm about produced or overproduced music.
Same here.
To me, but I like minimalistic electronic music, but when it comes to melodic and stuff, it's got to be full. Synthesizer, the whole 9 yards. And the next song was one of my favorites. Is from a little film called Legend, and the song is called Is Your Love Strong Enough? One of my favorite love ballads from the 80s. I get all teary-eyed listening to it sometimes.
Aww, Tom.
But I try to work it in, like when I spin sometimes, when I do my 80s night. And some people get it, some people don't, but I don't care. I like playing it. And that's from the Legend soundtrack itself. It's from 1985, and he had a really good guest artist on that. In the studio and video, he had used David Gilmour, the head honcho of Pink Floyd, on guitar.
Very impressive.
Yep.
For somebody like that to take their time out, right, to help you with your album.
85. That's when Pink Floyd was in the middle of doing Momentary Lapse of Reason, so. That's cool of him to do that, you know.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, we'll round it out with one of my all-time favorite albums and songs from Bryan Ferry's solo career. It's not an original song, but he does a excellent cover of Screaming Jay Hawkins' "I Put a Spell on You," and that's off his album called Taxi, which is all covers.
I'm not gonna say that. Which I know that you actually turned me on to, and I didn't plug in. You know, you get these albums, and maybe later, you know, but certainly when you played it for me, it just didn't hit with me.
Well, that's because he's doing somebody else's work, and you like Olympia better, which is all original stuff. But what I appreciate is I've heard those originals so many times, but he puts such a spin on it and does it his way with. I mean, he's like the Stanley Kubrick of rearranging. He'll take a story and rearrange it any way he wants to, you know, so it fits his needs. But that's like when I saw him live for the Momona tour. He came out on stage and he was dressed in his new wave jacket. You know, this is probably like the same year, probably like 1994, 1995, and he reached in his pocket and grabbed a bunch of glitter and he said, "Put a spell on you." It's sprinkled it all over the front row. And I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome.
Hopefully nobody was wearing a weave, because that would just piss them off.
He played for a couple hours, and we were getting out of there. Like we're going, you know, I went with my old boss from Specs, and we're all like leaving. And Bryan, as we're looking out, I'm looking back. Bryan Ferry's walking to the edge of the stage and just sitting down as people come up and just. After the show, just come up and talk to him right then and there.
Wow.
I mean, I appreciate the time. Like, man, I could just went up and just like talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Sounds like he was very personal. Yeah, he just, as everyone was packing, he just came out and just started talking to people in the crowd, which I thought was awesome. And there you have it.
Well, so hopefully you've enjoyed this. Please leave us comments below to agree, disagree, add to some of your favorites when it comes to Bryan Ferry. Also, please let us know if there's other bands or artists that you would like for us to do a review of. And like the video if you learned something new or you enjoyed the content that we provided. Definitely subscribe to the channel. And continually, please leave us comments on what you'd like to see next, whether it be for music or movies. We'll be more than happy to chime in on any of that. So cheers, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.
Cheers.